I've got a new phone sitting in my cart. It's been weeks now, but I still can't bring myself to push buy because many people think it's a far better phone, but I still love my 13 mini. I can't break up with it. Can I? Watch this video and find out if I can press buy on what's in my cart, because almost 2 years after I first brought it, here is my 13 mini long-term review. Apple unveiled the iPhone 13 mini in September 2021 as the second version of their mini iPhone series. The iPhone 13 mini may be small, but it packs a punch. Although it was sad because Apple chose to stop the mini series because it wasn't selling well, bringing an end to an era. But the charm of the iPhone 13 mini isn't lost on me even after 2 years. Actually, even in 2024, it's still seen as an outstanding device. Beautiful even. I mean, this phone is so good, I actually brought it twice. First I had it, then I broke up with it to get a 14 Pro, which was so horrible, I returned it as fast as I could and went out and bought a 13 mini again. I'm lucky she took me back. Let's start with the reasons I still love my iPhone 13 mini. While some may consider the small size of the iPhone 13 mini as a disadvantage, it is in fact one of its most notable strengths. With its compact and sleek design, this device stands out in the market as it offers the convenience of being pocket friendly and the rare feature of comfortable one-hand use. I love how small it is, and despite its compact size, the 5.4-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display surpasses expectations by providing stunning visuals and an engaging viewing experience, because I happily view videos on this device and longer ones, not just short form vertical content. The iPhone 13 mini is also exceptional in terms of its build quality, a clear reflection of Apple's commitment to perfection and premium craftsmanship. It really does shine here. With the ceramic shield front cover and aerospace grade aluminium frame, the product is super durable and just looks classy. With its IP68 water and dust resistance rating, this device can handle anything that life throws at it, making it the perfect companion for travelers. It just feels good in my hand and it's built to last. The iPhone 13 mini is tiny yet mighty, giving you the freedom to do so many things without getting sucked into your phone screen. The A15 Bionic chipset gives you better battery life than the 12 mini, and you'll probably still get iOS updates for another 2, maybe 3 years, because the chipset is the same as the one on the iPhone 14 and 14 Max, so it'll still have the same support timeline. If you're looking for a smaller iPhone, it's a great deal if you can pick one up on the resale market. But let me say how tempted I have been to switch to a more recent iPhone. Very tempted. The number of times I've had it in my cart, but in the end, I've opted not to press buy. So why did I put the iPhone 15 Pro Max and even the iPhone 15 Plus in my shopping cart? And why did I, after all that thinking and mulling it over, opt to stick with my 13 mini? First, let's talk about battery life. If the iPhone 13 mini has one weakness, it's battery life. I can get through a whole day of moderate use, but only just. On a lot of days, I need a top-up charge. With just 10 minutes on a fast charger, that's normally enough. Now, my solution has been to carry the Apple MagSafe battery pack with me when out for the day. Even when out and filming in Japan and using my phone for directions, including using the GPS system and guides for places to eat, the MagSafe battery pack was more than enough to get me through the day, usually adding about 70% to my battery life. But let's also talk about heat management a little bit before we go any further. When I brought my 13 mini to Japan in August 2023 during a scorching summer, my phone started giving me overheating warnings for the first time. So it turns out my iPhone 13 mini was just getting super hot because I was using it a ton in a really hot place and sometimes in direct sunlight. And when it gets too hot, that's game over. You can't use it again until it cools down. Seriously, it was like touching fire. I think that having a small surface area to dissipate heat also perhaps meant it took longer to cool down than perhaps a larger phone would. When I swapped to my iPhone 11 Pro Max, that only overheated once and cooled down pretty quickly despite me using it intensely filming on my gimbal. It wasn't just using it so much that caused my 13 mini to overheat. Using the Apple MagSafe battery was tricky. It doesn't charge the fastest at the best of times, but it becomes even slower for some reason when I tried to charge my iPhone using it at these times. The smart management was probably slowing down the battery charge to prevent overheating and battery damage. And yes, at one point a message popped up on the iPhone saying I couldn't charge it with the Apple MagSafe battery until it cooled down. Now, let's talk about cameras. This device has an amazing camera, two cameras that take awesome photos and videos, even in tricky lighting, and it's still delivering the goods even 2 years later. And with features like night mode and deep fusion, it's still a more than decent camera system for photography lovers and for videographers. It still delivers decent quality cinematic mode in 1080p as well as 4K straight up vanilla video as you'd expect. But there are a growing number of occasions where I have missed the zoom camera. Now the 13 mini only has the normal and ultra wide cameras, and that's where the 15 Pro Max excels. Even though people were expecting more than the 6x zoom that it eventually launched with. Even with the 15 Plus with 3x zoom, because of combining its two lenses, looks tempting compared to a lack of zoom completely. And that is what will probably push me to upgrade when we get to 2025. Another downside for me is that the keyboard on a small screen can be a bit fiddly, especially if you have large hands, but I can live with that for some time to come. So the 13 mini isn't perfect. A simple upgrade to a larger device would probably fix most of my battery problems, but then I lose the coolness of having such a small and powerful device. Because performance-wise, the 13 mini has continued to perform phenomenally well. Apple has barely improved the performance of the iPhone over the years. Each year it gets a little better, but the iPhone 15 Pro has taken things forward by more than the usual tiny amount. A brand new iPhone 13 mini still outperforms the iPhone 14 in some tests. It's incredible how the performance has held up. Everything is still speedy and will be for some time to come. So I guess that's one thing about Apple's slow performance improvements, is that even years later, the 13 mini still feels super fast compared to the competition. There are things I wish that I had, but for the most part, I probably wouldn't get that on the vanilla iPhone 14 anyway, because their features reserved for the 15 Pro, which is pricier. And while the 15 is just moderately expensive, the 15 Pro Max, because it would be the Pro Max with the extra zoom telephoto capability, is a lot more expensive by comparison. A smooth scrolling 120Hz screen, super telephoto lens, always on display, all of these Pro only. They're very nice things to have, but are they hundreds of dollars, maybe $1,000 nicer? Maybe, but not for me, not right now. The real question is not which phone is the best, but which phone is best for me. Picking the perfect phone isn't as simple as declaring winners and losers. It's much more personal than that. And personally, I'm still good with the 13 mini for now. Here's more from me about why my iPad Pro is the perfect productivity device and the accessories that I use to get the most out of it. I'll see you there, but don't tell my 13 mini.